Do a little morning action here. Might even step outside. Let's see. Sorry. I know people hate when I'm hacking and coughing loogies and stuff, but dude, I always have allergies. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. Now I'm like dried out and sneezing and no runny nose, but anywho, America is so cooked. I'm just kind of continuing picking up off of yesterday. I don't have a ton of time. Baby's gonna wake up here any second, but America's so cooked, man. I mean, at every at every level, every institution is corrupted, morally bankrupt, just outright just now they got the kids. So anytime, if anybody just pays attention in history, they and these color revolutions, these communist takeovers, they use the kids. If you're not watching right now, they're using the kids everywhere. They got kids walking out of schools everywhere across the country. You have kids walking around with fuck ICE written on their face. High school kids, middle school kids. I don't know if they've gotten down to elementary yet, but they're out there. They're being activated by their teachers, maybe partly by their parents. And it's like, what are these parents doing? Obviously, these parents don't know history. And you talked about this a little bit yesterday, just kind of touching on it. America doesn't know anything outside of America. And that's why Americans maybe are as lazy and stupid as they are. It says, we looked it up yesterday, that basically half the country never goes anywhere, more or less, never leaves America, never gets to see what the other side looks like. I picked up a couple new roosters yesterday. It's cool to hear them. Crowing. I had a rooster a bit ago, and something took him out. He disappeared, but my daughter always mimics him in the morning when he was out here crowing, so that'd be cool when she hears that. But they, like I said, they're using the kids. They're using all levers of power. I mean, they're using all options. No options are, they're using the white liberal soccer moms. They're using the high school and middle school kids. They're using media, popular media. They're using the news. They're using sports. They're using actors and They're using the whole bag of tricks to destroy America, and I was always trying to figure out what the end game was. I was always thinking they want to be in control of us, they want to rule us, put us into a position to be ruled, but now I think they want to burn down the whole damn country and rule over the ashes like we talked about yesterday. It's just a mess, man, and it's falling apart. If you're not, to me, you don't have much time. This is like the calm before the storm, kind of, and it's not even calm before COVID. Like, I'm just watching everything, I'm watching everything line up. Trump can't prosecute anybody. His Department of Justice, they can try to put out an indictment or something. They can put handcuffs on somebody for about 12 hours, if that, and then they have to release them because of some judge or some activist group or something overrides what the president's doing. On top of that, some of the Epstein stuff, or a bunch of the Epstein stuff, dropped yesterday. Trump's definitely implicated in there. It seems like most of the sexual stuff is all made up, bullshit, unconfirmed reports. But in there is that he's compromised by Israel. What up, Bikes? In there in the Epstein files that he's compromised by Israel. I mean, that's like, you don't even need to have that in the Epstein files to clearly see that Trump is compromised by Israel. Israel holds the car keys to this country right now, and it's pretty much the saddest fucking thing ever. So it makes you really think, is it all the powers that be? Is it globalization? Is it Illuminati? Is it whatever the fuck you want to say to make your boat float? I'm gonna have to go inside. It's way too fucking cold out here. And this rooster's not gonna shut up now that I'm out here. Oh shit, it's cold outside. But it begs the question, Israel controlling our foreign policy, Israel controlling our domestic policy, buying TikTok, taking a hold of all social medias and handing out, censorship. You can't talk about Israel. You can't talk about what the Israelis are doing, their quest for domination and power. You're not allowed to talk about that. And so to me, that makes it, is it the Chinese planting the subversion? Is it, I mean, it's NGOs and all that kind of good stuff really funding and driving all these retards and losers. But I mean, there's a bunch of people out there doing it for free. A bunch of people out there causing chaos for free. I'm gonna get my little chair and sit right here next to the fireplace. Hold on. Maybe I'm just gonna sit on the floor. I don't want to wake the baby up. Oh, what do I do with my coffee? I got a damn Trump cup that my dad gave me, coffee cup. Look at this. Law and order. Zero law, zero order. We just got duped, man. We got lied to. It's crazy when you get a Democrat in there, because the Democrats lying through their teeth most of the time, or they're just telling you what they're going to do, which is ridiculous, and they get it, they do it. And the whole time, the people on the right are pushing back against what Democrats do, and saying that they're basically the opposite. They're going to do the opposite if you give them power, and then they get in. And they actually lie worse, lie harder than the Democrats. They basically go back on everything that they said they were going to do. And they just lie to our faces. And these people take our votes, they take our time, they take our money, they take our energy. They take all of it. Yeah, well, I've always been told, my thing is, I've always been told, if you don't vote, then you don't, like, almost, it's really comes from my dad, if you don't vote, then you don't have no reason to bitch. And I've always wanted a reason to bitch, so. What up, Corey? Man, I couldn't, I couldn't disagree with you. I think it's all, I use words sometimes that maybe that I don't, that I'm probably misplacing a little bit, or not misplacing, but it's not as serious as what I'm saying. But I'll say, like, I struggle between the two, even though there's no struggle really, but I struggle between the two, whether it's all theater, it's all just a Hollywood production, or, whatever else it is. Whatever else it is, I don't believe that's organic. It is very, it's made to make us tribal, like Corey's saying, very tribal. I've talked about that in millions of chats. I think of Afghanistan or something like that. You wonder, how did these people, you wonder, how do these people get broken down into such small groups, I think just over time, if you don't have a propaganda war on your doorstep, just over time, I guess people move into their little groups. I think about it the other day, right? You're in elementary school, you're going into the lunchroom, right? And even in a perfect, harmonious world with no racism, no violence, no nothing, right? You go in there, the black kids are with the black kids, the white kids are with the white kids, or the jocks are with the jocks, the nerds are with the nerds, Hispanic kids are with the Hispanic kids, Asians are with the Asians. And it's in us to be, I guess, tribal for self survival, for one's self preservation. And I think that's okay. I encourage that. I talked about why are white people so self genocidal, like they're the only group trying to like extinct themselves. But when you push on those, when you push on those differences and point them out and kind of just basically turn it into like psychological warfare between people, you use race as a weapon. You use whatever it is, class, whatever, and use that as a weapon to divide the people and make the people hate each other because of. And I'll say this in a video, and I've said it 100 times. I pretty much, I would say I love everybody. I hate everybody, but I love everybody. I don't. I ran pretty hard on here against black fools a lot, black people. I love black people. I think black people are awesome. I fucking cannot stand monkeys. I can't stand the Negrofied, whatever you want to call it, side of black society. I can't stand the tribalism of blacks. We can say nigga, but you can't say nigga. And if you say nigger, we're gonna kill you. I can't stand that. The over representation in, say, sports or whatever like that, and then the complaining, the victimhood, like, oh, we make up like 90, 95% of all sports, athletes, this, that, and the other, but we don't have a category here. We don't have enough black coaches. It must be racisms. You had the black guy complaining about the white ref in the NBA, and saying it was racist and this, and it's like, bro, how could a racist get by in the NBA? It's all fucking black people. So I can't stand that shit. I cannot stand that. I love regular old black people, old school black people. That's like Southern black people, greatest people. You know what I mean? But then you go over to like Memphis, where black people are just killing each other over and over and over again for nothing, for either money or colors or gangs or whatever. I can't stand that shit. I can't stand the white liberals. I can't stand the communism and the Marxism and all that shit that they embrace and that they try to make us others embrace. So I can see when these threads are pushed on, to divide us. But I actually don't even hate anybody. I don't actually hate black people. I hate the Negro side of things. You know what I mean? I hate the white trash side of things, the white liberal side of I hate that. But as just a people, just a regular peaceful people, just trying to work and make, I don't have no hate. I have nothing but love for those folks. I love the South because people are so much more united down here, and you have colors of everything. You have some white ass areas. I live in a white ass area now, but people in the South get along. They're neighbors, their family. And then you go north, you go east, you go west. You go west, it's segregated. East, I haven't been out east in a long time, so I won't speak on that. But the north seems like one big shithole too, where it's always the constant racism's bullshit, and it's just always this narrative. So they push us to hate each other. Let me see what else we got. What up? Donna, Raza, Raka, Raka, Kaka, I don't know. So it's crazy that these are being pushed on, they're being weaponized, and I think it's past the breaking point. I don't think that there's no way that we can turn it back and then like somehow we're all gonna get together. Is there some, like, for example, I mean, is there God? Is there God that we all can rally around and come together, forget our differences? I'm not talking about like in a kumbaya, but I'm saying, is there this, you know, and I don't doubt God. I don't doubt God that God could do it if God wanted to do it, you know? I mean, obviously, He's almighty, but man has free will, and man doesn't have the will to come together for spirituality. Maybe some of us do, but you know, we're not going to get our country together like that. You have a bunch of atheists, you have a bunch of Satanists, you have a bunch of Marxists and communists. Those people hate God, they hate Jesus, they hate you, they hate me. I was going to talk about something yesterday I left out is, you know, Americans don't have the stomach, you know, people on the right anyways do not have the stomach for what's coming. And I think that's why it's been allowed to go and fester for so long. It's just people on the right do not have the stomach to do what needs to be done. You know, just like Trump doesn't, you know, whether it's all theater and he's just making it up as he goes, or he's in on it, or he's just oblivious. He doesn't have the stomach to get rid of the illegals like they need to be got rid of. You know, he doesn't have the stomach or the balls to go out there and remove these motherfucking communists from the streets and send them to CCOT. No trial, just send them to CCOT. Let their lawyers figure it out. So I got that weird feeling like before COVID, like where everything I knew, you know, in my gut, in my heart, you know, my heart was acting crazy, like right before COVID happened. I was flipping out. I was like, man, do I need to go to the doctor? My heart is like beating different beats and just all kind of, and bro, it was the pain and the struggle that I guess my mind and body sniffed out before it was time. And I kind of feel that way now. I mean, I'm an observer. You know, all these years of me talking all this shit on the internet and people being like, oh, you're a fucking idiot, you're a ugly this, you're a that, blah, blah, blah. You know how people are. I do the same thing. So, I've just been observing, man, for 13, 14, 15 years, whatever it's been. I think it's been 15. I've been observing and just, you know, putting out what I see with my own two eyes. Sometimes it's emotional because I'm passionate, and sometimes it's just a dry run. And, you know, I think that we are all the way in the shitstorm. I think we are actually in the second civil war. To me, it's hard to tell if we're in the third world war. It seems like the pieces on the chessboard are moving, but I'm still kind of unsure about that. I think here domestically, you know, civil war type bullshit going on. The collapse of just our continuity as a country, our sovereignty's gone. You know, I see that as being a huge problem. Obviously, like fucking obviously, Tony, but I don't know that we can I don't know that we can wage a world war. I don't know that we can wage these wars on all fronts around the globe while America rots at home. I mean, the core is rotting and falling in and collapsing, having a heart attack, a seizure, a brain clot, blood clot, all of it. And yet we're out there sending ships here and sending shit. And the world's looking at us like, dude, you guys aren't even put together at home. Domestically, you guys are falling apart. We're a joke on the world stage, and not in a weird, like, gay Democrat like way where they're like, oh, on the world stage, we're a joke. And they're actually the joke. No, we're actually a joke. We allow our politicians that have nothing to do with fucking overseas go overseas, talk a bunch of mess, embarrass the sitting president, whether you like him or not. You have politicians on the world stage overseas and here domestically just bashing and just, you know, an out coup d'etat on TV around the world. And it's never happened. I don't remember any time since I've been alive where our politicians went overseas and talked shit about our president overseas to other countries, tried to make side deals. You got California, you got Washington trying to make like side deals with China and all this other crazy shit. And it's like, dude, Who gave these, whether it's the governor, the senator, congressman, whatever, who gave them the idea that they had power and projection outside of their own state? You know, I would say get right with God, man. If you're not already, get right with God. That's going to be most important. Build your community that's around you, your neighbors, your friends, the people that you can count on, because there's nobody coming to save you. You know, I think somebody was talking about this yesterday. Maybe it was 3 to 7 Project. I felt like he had seen my video and did a video, because I felt like, damn, dude, you're saying almost everything I said in my video. But he's a cool dude over there, Chad. But maybe that's who was saying it. But yeah, nobody's coming to save us. If you're thinking that somebody's coming to save us, whether it's a politician, some other country, whatever is your brain thinking that somebody's going to come save us, there's no saving. Once this thing goes sideways like it's already going, the funding is increasing for these protests and this anarchy and this insurrection to continue. It's spreading to different cities. It's going to warm up here pretty soon. It's been brutally cold, kind of like putting a little tamp down on it, but now putting a little clamp down on it. But now it's going to start warming up, You could see them getting very aggressive out there in California now, and they're going to do it everywhere because Trump has showed weakness. He's weak. He's either in on the theater, he's either oblivious and a retard, or what's the other option? In on it, not in on it because he's a retard, or I don't know what the other option, I guess, just being willy-nilly, just being up for it, not being up for it or against it, just letting it happen. You would think all the stuff that happened to him, he would come out like a firebrand and be roasting everybody, And he's not doing shit. He's not doing anything to fix this country. What up, Share Bear? Agreed. I mean, that's the only thing, I guess. That's the only comforting thing, the only backstop, the only sunny side to this whole dark day. Oh, hold on a second. Is that we do have Jesus, that is that is great. My only thing to say against that really would be, I think that he'd want us. I think that he would want us to fight more for what we've been given. I just feel like I've never been a pacifist, and I never believed that Jesus was a pacifist. Ooh, that hurt. Oh, did I just do that for saying something? Oh man, that hurt. But we need to fight, we need to fight for what's ours. We need to fight for freedom, for liberty. And I don't know, I would never say that on a grand scale no more. We're not saving this country. There's nothing to save. I mean, that's what, when that reality hits people, then the taxes and all that kind of stuff will stop being paid. When people realize, I mean, we are broke. Our country is broke, and by default, we broke. Our country is in default, and by default, we're in default. The country has raped and taken everything from us and our children, and by default, that'll be passed on down to our kids, the debt. Everything's been stripped from the lands, America is just a hollowed out womb or cocoon of what it used to be. It's just a shell, and we're sitting here fighting over the scraps. So it's a weird place to be, but I've come to the realization that we ain't fixing nothing. And I think I've come up with that a long time ago, but you always have that hope in the back of your head, I think maybe as Christians, we are conditioned or programmed to be, more positive about things than things are. When you talk to somebody who's really in the book, who's really walking the walk, they're kind of like untouched and unbothered, kind of like a monk, but monks are on some other shit. Monk is like a real pacifist type, I guess, right? But they're not worried about anything, and you have that armor of God, and I get that, but I just don't think we should have been conditioned to be so damn nice. That's my whole thing. I mean, in a time of what's going on here, whether it's the color revolution, whether it's the Islamic takeover. I've argued for a long time to try and turn America into the Middle East. It's going to be Muslims against Israelis, whether it's they're all Israelis or they're led into the group to become Zionists and all that kind of stuff. But it's just like this weird overseas fight here at home. And it's like, where's the Americans at? Where's the American values? Where's the American issues at? I don't know where I'm going with this, but I would go to my preacher and ask him, man, I feel like Jesus would want us to fight more. I feel like he would want us to stand up for ourselves and really maybe take the fight to the enemy. I'm probably wrong about that. I'm not ready to be fed to the lions, I'm not ready for, Colosseum, lion feedings. I just think that Christians should be tougher, and especially in this moment right now, while everybody else, especially, other religions, those fools stand firm. They stand, you know, rooted in, you're not going to do that to me. You're not going to do that to my religion. And Christians are kind of like, you know, God save me. God stop these things from happening to me, what they're going to do. And we need to be doing the legwork. It's not a Zoltan machine or whatever you put in a quarter and make a wish. I argue with my brother about this all the time. He's always like, God's going to do this and God's going to do that for me and this, that, and the other. And I always tell him, dude, you're not doing nothing for yourself. You got people that think out there like, oh, God's going to push the crosswalk button and get me across. No, dude, you're going to press the crosswalk button and you're going to walk across the street, and then you're going to thank God that you made it across the street. People are looking for these actions by God to basically, lift up the shovel and dig for them, pick up the pickaxe and pickaxe for them, that all that physical, all those physical things have to be done by us. We can hope, we can pray, we can ask for forgiveness, we can be thankful, but we have to be moving our own ass. We need to be moving our own 2 feet. We need to be working and doing the hard things. I think it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission. Do the hard things. Do them now. You can question it later. But we got to stand up for ourselves. I think, like I said, the country's gone, but individually, community, stuff like that, get tight. Your church, get tight with folks and keep it tight. Because can you imagine a world where you don't know your neighbors, everything's falling in and on itself? You can hear screams coming down the road or the apartment next door. You know you're next. You've stocked up a whole bunch of guns and ammo for 15 years. You got your whole apartment locked and loaded, and somebody just throws a Molotov cocktail in the window and sets all your shit on fire, and you burn in your house with all your ammo and your guns. You know? There's a lot to think about as far as planning, preparation goes going forward, because this only gets worse. I am totally in agreement, and I've been saying it for a while now. There's nothing that turns this back. If we could all rally around God, if we could all find God and rally around that, we could perform a miracle. We could heal ourselves. We could fix this country. But that's not going to happen. I have faith in God, but I have zero faith in people. All my faith is in God. And sometimes I don't know why. I do know why. I do know, even though I say I don't know why people are the way they are to each other. But it's because we have that free will. That song by Tool, what's it called? Right Into, I'll butcher the words a bunch, but it's like, what did it say? Something like God gave us thumbs, and the best thing we could figure out is like how to forge a blade and beat our brother down, or build a bat and beat our brother down, something like that. But it's like violence and conflict, sadness, hate. I already say violence. All those things. You can't take them. You have man and you have those things, and you can't separate them. Man is inherently violent, hateful, problematic, power tripping, power hungry, evil, so on and so forth. That's man. Man's not known for being, oh man is so nice to each other and kumbaya and everybody's great to each other. No. Man is just known for being shitty to each other, finding a reason to not like somebody else any time in history, finding a reason to not like or not identify with a group, go after that group, take that group out, take their land, take their resources, and, rinse and repeat. It's even in that song, he said something like, he gave us the Garden of Eden, and this is how we repay him. Or I forget, I had to look at the lyrics, but, we were given the Garden of Eden. Even now, people say, oh, this is a long time. Man, we're in the Garden of Eden right now. America's a great place. Life is awesome. Rivers, lakes, oceans, mountains, deserts, trees, clean air, good food, beautiful women, money to be made. All these things, and it's just not enough for man. Man is still trying to take each other out and kill each other and power trip on each other and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know where I was heading with this, other than it's only going to get worse. I am as sure of this as I've been of anything. I think it's going to get way worse. There's no way out. I think last 14, 15 years I've been doing this channel, I've always held out the hope that there was a way that we're going to get out of this. We're going to overcome, this objection here, this problem, this damn monkey wrench in my system here, in our system. I've always thought that, and I don't believe that anymore. Maybe I never did. Maybe I was just lying to myself all these years, but it's definitely over, folks. The ride is over, and you don't have much time. To me, you don't have much time at all. And it's not like a video where I'm going to be putting out videos. Oh, this is the end. I did do a video, this is the end, the other day. Titles pop in my head as I'm trying to set it up, and but I'm not, red alert, this is really it this time, no. I just believe overall that this is actually game over, man. It's just really game over, and folks are just not awake and not alert. I'm watching the coup d'etat live on any channel, media, Hollywood, sports stars, politicians, people in the streets, everybody. And like, you got people just coming and going to work and stuff, just totally fucking oblivious that this country is on full tilt mode. We're over with. And by the time you realize and wake up, it's going to be like all the people that were late to COVID. You're going to wake up and go, oh shit. All of a sudden you start getting phone calls from all these people you haven't heard from in like 5 to 10 years. Hey, Tony, how you doing, man? I just wanted to see what you're thinking about this situation, and just wanted to say, hey, man, no hard feelings about why we fell out before. We're cool and everything. I just, I had motherfuckers. I had a cousin I ain't talked to in like 20 years call me during COVID because he was freaked out about everything that was going on. I had all types of people that reached out to me like I had the inside scoop. And it's why do they call me? I do have the inside scoop. It's all over. Get your shit together and get ready for life to really suck. Embrace the suck. Ice falling off the house. Phone's about to die, but it's a long road out of hell, right? I think is that the song? It's a long road out of hell. I think was that Marilyn Manson maybe? It is, man. It's a long road out of where we're going right now. It's only going to get worse. The only chance you have is to be around like-minded people. It doesn't need to be a bunch. I'd say 3 or 4 households full, your neighbors type thing, being tight, having some type of trust, and blow them trees on the road and block them roads when stuff gets squirrely and people want to be coming down your road that shouldn't be coming down your road. But it only gets worse from here. If I'm wrong, that's awesome. I always love to be wrong on this channel because it means that it's not as bad as I think it's going to be. But they got the kids out in the streets protesting. Next thing, kids turn on the parents. I mean, this is just Color Revolution 101. The communists are totally in control. Trump has totally laid down and given up, or he's in on the theater. Either way, we're fucked, people. So let me know what you think. I'm gonna finish my coffee. Peace.